welcome to the next instalment of the Spink podcast. I'm sure you're all as excited as we are. Thomasina and I are going to be talking about Godzilla today. That is to say, our next World Banknote catalogue, which is on the 28th, 29th and 30th of September this year. Obviously we called it Godzilla because it is massive. We're just under 2,200 lots, and then the following week we've got another 900 or so of British material. So Thomasina is going to open by talking about the note on the cover.
Here, lot 957, we have 100 Somali from Italian Somaliland, and from the 1950 issue, and it's a single year of issue, so it's extremely rare and probably one of those striking note-like images on a banknote, and personally one of my favourite. I think it's absolutely gorgeous and the engraving's just stunning. So it's estimated at £5,000 to £7,000.
I think it should easily go beyond that though. It's completely uncirculated as well, which is very rare. We have a slightly different looking note next. It's not the most attractive piece of paper. It's slightly ragged, but it is exceptionally rare as well. It's a province of Canada $1 issued in St. John. It's actually the first note in the World Paper Money catalogue. It's pick 1, and it's the earliest note issued by the government in Canada in 1866, and for it to have survived and somehow ended up, I think, in Shropshire is quite a strange twist of fate. But we couldn't find any records of this being sold. I think maybe only one record of this being sold in the last couple of decades. So we're expecting quite a lot of interest in this. It's estimated at 4,500 to 5,500, but you know, it's an exceptional thing, so it should go higher.
And now we have the government of Gibraltar here. It's one of many Commonwealth specimens we've got in this sale, all of which are staggeringly rare. This one in particular is the £50 from the 1914 issue. Very rare, and I think it's believed to be the only one in private hands. So, very rare.
You're going to be hearing the word rare quite a lot in this podcast, but you know, that's never a bad thing. And on that theme, we have an extremely rare Iraqi half dinar. Now, this is the 1941 issue, and obviously that was during the Second World War. And the government in Iraq and other countries, East Africa, for example, were having a great deal of trouble getting shipments of notes from the UK where they were being printed. So they had to resort to other measures, and they actually started printing notes in India. The printing quality in India and the fact that they had to get them done quickly meant that the notes were quite different. They couldn't just use the same plates. So this note was one of the very few printed in India at that time for Iraq. It's a specimen as well, which is the interesting part about it, because we are only aware of 2 others of these in existence. We're not sure quite why the specimens of this series are quite so rare, but they are. And this, I think, is the only one that Barnaby's ever had in one of his auctions in about 40 years. So with an estimate of 30,000 actually is the low estimate on this note. Whether it will reach that, I don't know, but we certainly think it deserves to.
The next note we have is this Republica of Nicaragua, 10 pesos, dated 1900. It's in remarkable condition, and we haven't sold one like this for ever. It's incredibly rare, and it's got the 3 rare hand stamp variation, and it's just a lovely looking item as well. So, and that's estimated at £800 to £1,200, but I'm sure.
I think the thing about this one is we're not, because there's no records of this being sold in this condition, we really aren't quite sure where it's going to end up, but it's certainly going to be higher than that.
Yeah.
We've got another slightly less expensive but nonetheless really interesting item here. There's a couple of these in the sale, and they're from Mongolia. And there's a couple of very rare issues from Mongolia. This is not in any catalogues. We are not 100% sure exactly how they were used, but they're promissory notes or exchange bills. We know that, and they had a fixed value. Although it looks like they were used to send money far beyond or different from those values. They've got a lot of interesting features. This is the actual note part. We believe these were occasionally chopped off and actually used as notes as well. And then there's areas for the people sending the money to fill in their details, where they were sending it to, this kind of thing. This example has some revenue stamps as well, which you had to pay to actually send the money. We've got several values in the auction. I think there's about 9 lots, but they're each estimated at £500 to £700. Actually, we sold some single notes a few years ago, about £4,000. So we're really hoping these attract a lot of interest. They are not something we've seen before, and they should do very well, I hope.
And we'll move on to the most expensive lot in the sale, and this is from Turkey, and it's the 50,000 livres, and well, it's a very pretty looking note, and it's a specimen from the 1916 issue, and it's estimated at 80,000 to 90,000. So,
how many are known of those?
Only 2 are known.
In specimen, I presume.
Yeah. So
it's a big note.
Very big note. Very wallet.
Finally, for the world section, we've got a note from the Mel Huang collection. He is a true, as Barnaby calls him, collector's collector. I'm not sure exactly what it means, but I think it's a nice term anyway. And this is the Russian rainbow note. It was issued in 1884, although there are several other dates of issue. And looking at the front, you might wonder why on earth it's called the rainbow note, but actually, if you turn it round, you'll see all the colours of the rainbow. It's a very, very popular thing. This is, with our theme, extremely rare. I think the last time Barnaby had one of these was about 15 years ago, and even in this grade, in very good, it's a really fantastic item. I think we're going to move on to talk about the following week. We've got a couple of British notes to talk about, and Thomasina's going to open with the first of our 2 sales that week.
Mm-hmm. This is the Bank of England charity sale we have, and we have on offer the first Bank of England polymer note. This will all be in your wallet soon. I'm sure it's more exciting to you then. But it's very pretty and quite striking, with Winston Churchill on the back. And this is number 17 and estimated at 1,000 to 1,500.
That is the lowest number that is in the auction as well, number 17.
And we also have the Bank of Scotland charity sale as well that week.
Yeah, that opens the start of our next auction, which is the general British banknote sale. We've got the Bank of Scotland charity at the beginning, followed by an amazing Scottish collection from the Institute of Scottish Bankers. And I've got 2 examples here. I mean, these are very, very early notes. This one is at £12 Scots from 1723. It's one of the earliest notes known, and it's for £12, which is rather an interesting amount. It's in incredible condition, really. I mean, it's got a few repairs on the back, but I think the key thing here is that it's so very, very early. The other note here is the Central Bank of Scotland, which is a bank that I'm not sure it actually existed. It certainly didn't issue notes. This is actually a specimen. It's got some absolutely beautiful vignettes, and aside from the big cancelled stamps, I mean, this is a really fantastic note. Very, very striking. To finish, we have a smaller section of English notes than normal, but it's got some very, very good quality things in it. One of the finest is this presentation pair for the first modern series of banknotes. So it's the first 10 shilling and £1 notes issued for over 100 years at that point. and they were given out in a presentation album on, as it says here, the 22nd of November 1928. And this is a lovely vellum presentation album, and the numbers 1 through to I think 100 were given out that day, and this is actually the pair number 90. It's estimated at 5 to 8,000. It should easily make that. They tend to do very well when they come up, and they don't always come up with the presentation album. So actually, this is key to the interest and the value of the lot. So thank you for listening, watching our podcast today. We hope we're going to be seeing a lot of you at the auction or auctions. We'll certainly be seeing some of you at the Wallpaper Money Fair in Valkenburg the week before. And as I say, thank you for listening, and good luck if you have a bid.